Hi guys, welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel if this isn't the first time that you see my face. My name is Famke and today is one of my occasional True Crime Thursday videos that I make whenever I feel like talking about a true crime case from Europe, UK not included. I'm starting this series off with cases from Belgium because I am from Belgium and it makes it just as easy to read articles about what actually happened. I already made 2 videos about some of the most known serial killers from Belgium, so if you haven't seen those, check those out after this one. And I do my makeup at the same time to keep my hands busy. I got this idea from Pierre Serry, so if you haven't seen her videos, they're awesome. And she does them mostly about cases from the UK and America, and that's why I'm changing it up a bit. I don't want to steal somebody else's idea, just for the fun of it, I guess. If this series is something that you find enjoyable to watch, then please don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below and like this video. Turn on your notifications so you never miss another upload of me. I already have 18 subscribers. What do you have to lose? Maybe I'm gonna be super famous in a few weeks and you can say I was there from 18 subscribers. On a whole other note, this is the most bougie bottle I've ever seen. You use this as a little cup. Tastes like money. So let's get into the case. A little disclaimer. I will be talking into detail about crime scenes. And in this particular case, there's also some mentions of child abuse. If that's anything that triggers you, don't watch this video. Go watch another one on my channel that is a little bit more lighthearted than this one. Also, if you're wondering what I'm using on my face, I will try to link everything that I'm using today in the description box below. Usually it's the same things because I don't have a makeup collection that's big enough to use something different every time. But we try to change it up every once in a while, you know. Steal some shit from my mom. So, the case that I'm going to be talking about today happened not that long ago, even though the name of it would make you think otherwise. You know, castle murders, you would think it's like Middle Ages, but no. This happened in 2012, good old days. So the trial for this case is still going, and it probably will be for a while because there were quite a lot of people involved in it. And not everything is clear about how it exactly happened. But it is solved, like they know who did it, but they don't know exactly how it happened. There's not a lot known about the background of the family. The only thing that I know that I could find was just that the dad's name was Stijn. The mom's name was Elisabeth Gyselbrecht, and they had 4 kids. So Stijn was a project developer. He was 34, and Elisabeth was a doctor. Well, is a doctor, I guess. Well, it was, I don't know. So they lived in this beautiful castle. English, please. So they lived in this beautiful castle in the middle of the woods in a little village called Wingene. And when you look at this place, you're like, great choice to go and live in a dark, weird-ass castle in the middle of the woods. Nothing bad's gonna happen, sure. It's that kind of place, you know? Just the perfect location for a beautiful, grisly-ass murder. So the family lives in this castle and everything seems perfectly fine until Stijn goes missing on the 31st of January in 2012. His wife finds a bloody trail from the middle of their hallway all the way up until their driveway, and Stijn is nowhere to be found. Elisabeth's father, André Gyselbrecht, and her brother, Pierre Gyselbrecht, are both questioned, but they're released after 48 hours because they didn't really have enough evidence to suspect them of anything. Then they started to suspect Pierre Serry. He was a friend of André, the father of Elisabeth, and they suspected him because they found out that he had been in contact with 4 Russian guys. And those 4 Russian guys are suspected to be hitmen. I said this was gonna be an interesting story, guys. I wasn't lying. But again, they were all released because there just wasn't enough evidence to keep them in jail any longer than 48 hours. Even though the address of the castle in Wingene was found in the GPS of the 4 Russian guys a few months earlier, and they wrote it down in a report, but nothing was ever done about it, so everybody was just like, meh. Anyway, meanwhile, they're still searching for the body of Stijn, because at this point they're thinking, well, there was a lot of blood in the hallway, and he's been missing for 2 weeks, so he's probably dead. So they were searching for a body. They were still putting out like flyers and stuff, but they didn't really have much hope for it anymore, which is just really sad. So yeah, after 2 weeks they found the body in the woods a little bit farther away from the castle, in another village called Maria Aalter. It was about a 15-minute drive away from the castle, and the body was buried very close to a cabin that belonged to Pierre Serry, the guy from earlier. So investigators could figure out that the hole was already dug before he went missing. So this tells us that it was like premeditated murder. It wasn't just like an accident or something. So that could make them rule out like 2nd-degree murder instead of 1st degree. The cause of death was a shot through his right lung, and he started to suffocate in his own blood, which is just horrifying. So now they arrest Pierre Serry, André, and Peter again. But you're probably still wondering why? Why? Well, let me tell you why. Because it's about to get a whole lot of fucked up in this bitch, you know. So, it turns out that 3 months before the murders on October 3rd, André Gyselbrecht, I cannot say this name, Gyselbrecht. So, 3 months before Stijn got killed, they found a report from André Gyselbrecht that he filed with the police. And in this report, it said that he suspected Stijn, the guy who got killed, from having, and I quote, incestuous relations with his own daughter. And listen, killing anybody is just a no-go. But if the police won't do anything about this kind of stuff, I don't know, you know. So he filed the report, but the police didn't even investigate. They didn't really do anything about it because Stijn was a wealthy guy, you know. You're not just gonna start investigating dudes with a lot of money, I guess, right? Because people with money can't do anything wrong. You insane? Of course not. They are the Holy Spirit themselves. Anyway, so Stijn finds out about the accusations from his father-in-law and he gets pissed off. As would anybody, if you're guilty or not, you know. I'm not gonna say anything, but you know, he got pretty pissed off. So he went to André's workplace. He worked as a doctor. So he storms inside. They start arguing with a lot of witnesses, you know. There's a lot of people around there. And they hear Stijn saying that he's going to take his whole family and move with them to Australia to restart their life away from everybody. So this infuriates André. He's like, I'm not gonna lose my daughter to no one, you know? And, you know, I can't really blame him. I would be kind of pissed off if somebody would take my daughter away to live in a country very, very far, far away. Meanwhile, in the news, there's a lot of speculation that he was going to take them away to Australia to live in a cult where incestuous relations are okay, where you can do whatever you want. Now, this was never confirmed, but it was confirmed that he was planning to move to Australia, so make of that what you will, I guess. So meanwhile, these 4 dudes are in jail. So André, Pierre, and Peter. 3 dudes. And the police find a letter in Pierre's cell, which said that Stijn wasn't meant to die. They were only going to, and I quote, teach him a lesson. So that pointed out that they weren't the ones who actually killed him, but that they were the ones who hired the person to kill them. You know, because if you have a lot of money, you can let other people do your dirty work. Now, because the case took such a long time to figure out who actually killed them, and these rich people had great lawyers, they actually got released again. Because the police just bumped into a dead end and they couldn't tell them who had actually killed Stijn. They knew they had something to do with it. They had a lot of evidence that they had something to do with it, but they didn't actually do it. Then, through DNA results, they could identify another guy, and his name was Antonius van Bommel. Now, he was a dude from the Netherlands, and they suspected him, but the problem was that he was already dead, that sucks, you know, like, you finally found him, turns out he already gone. He already gone, my dude. Now, he didn't die because somebody killed him, but he died of cancer. Now the thing also was that he could have never done it alone because the body would have been way too heavy to carry all by himself, so there had to be a second killer that they couldn't find, and there was no trace of him anywhere. But the plot thickens because a guy with the name Roy Larmit, who was the nephew of Antonius, he was his driver on the day of the murder, and he said that Antonius received a phone call of someone ordering him to kill someone with a incestuous past. So they start thinking that Roy is the second killer, but he insisted that he just drove his uncle. He didn't see or touch the body and didn't know what the plan was of the day. He was just driving him around, I guess. So then they discovered that Roy made a very big donation to a guy named Evert de Clerq. I'm gonna do my eyeliner off camera real fast, I'll be right back. So they found out that Roy Larmit, was in contact with Evert de Clerq a few months before the murder. So Roy Larmit told Evert de Clerq that the deal was going to be executed, and then de Clerq hired Antonius to actually execute the deal, like they call it. And then Larmit gave him 150,000 euros just to find the guy who could do it. Very confusing story, I know. So they all received jail time. So Andre got 21 years in jail because he was the guy who set the whole plan in motion. You know, he was the guy that said, let's kill my son-in-law. You know, if you suspect him from doing something as shitty as touching his own child, I don't really blame him. Now I don't know if it's actually true because they didn't say in the article or anywhere else. So I don't really know, man, if he actually did it or not. But killing somebody is illegal anyway, so you know. Can't just let that slide. Then Pierre Serry, he had 19 years in jail because, you know, the body was buried close to his cabin, and that's not a coinkydink if you ask me. Evert de Clerq got 20 years because he actually hired the hitman, and Roy Larmit, you know, the driver, he got 15 years. Which, if you think about it, 15 years really isn't that bad, even though you're like number one accomplice in the whole thing, because he drove the car. You're not gonna tell me that he didn't know what the fuck was going on, you know? Anyway, yeah, so that's the case. A lot of guessing and a lot of people involved. I really don't know how to close this off. They're still like fighting in court for like sentence reduction, but they're never gonna get it because it's obvious that they did it. But you know, rich people and their lawyers. So what are 3 things that we learned out of this case, guys? I guess 1, don't trust your family-in-law. 2, don't move to Australia. And 3, don't go live in a castle that looks like it came straight out of The Conjuring if you don't want to get murdered. Fun, great tips, keep those in mind, write those down, put them in your phone. Do I have hair clips in my hair? I still have like... Great. That's it for this week's True Crime Thursday. If you like this video, if you like this look, if you like me, please don't forget to give this video a big fat thumbs up, subscribe, and turn on your notifications for my next video. It really helps out a lot, and I would really like to have at least 20 subscribers at the end of the year. We're putting the bar low, guys. Let's go. 2 more subscribers and then I have 20. I mean, that's mad luxurious.